What's your story? Whether you're a client or an independent financial advisor, we know you face many important decisions that can affect your and your clients' long-term financial success. Welcome to the WIN Podcast, What's Important Now with Corey Heimensen, accredited investment fiduciary and president of Heimensen Wealth Advisors. In this podcast, Corey helps you identify your goals and objectives through financial education and comprehensive planning, while inspiring you to make better behavioral decisions in your personal finance. With a twist on pop culture and current events, join us as we explore growth and protection strategies for individuals, advisors, and their businesses. Come and discover what's important to you now.
Hello and welcome to the WIN Podcast with Corey Heimensen. Corey, what's going on, man?
Eric, good to see you again.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm excited to be back with you, and you've got some great information for today. It's different. We're gonna really challenge the audience today.
Yeah, this is going to take a little bit of almost imagination or visualizing, maybe.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if I can describe things well enough, it'll work.
Well, as an old coach, I appreciate visualizing things because you can visualize success, you can visualize dreams, you can visualize goals. What are we visualizing today?
Numerous things, but let's go with the title first.
All right.
How about that?
Go for it. What is it?
And of course, this is my normal MO where I say a title and it makes really no sense until we dig deeper into it. But title of today, Level Up.
Okay, level up. Are you a video game player at all when you were a kid?
I wasn't very lucky that my parents really never allowed me to have video games. So then when I got to college and my roommate had, I believe it was in television.
Oh, nice.
Is that what it's called? I think it wasn't Nintendo. I think that was kind of the arch enemy. And so we played baseball.
Oh,
television baseball over and over and over until I finally beat my roommate one time. And then he said we couldn't play anymore.
Oh, come on. That's kind of a chump move.
and then I moved out and didn't live with that guy again. And then my next roommate had Nintendo. And so then I was more of a Mario.
Okay, that's my point. You got me to what I was just going to say. When I think, right when you say level up, the first thing I think of is Mario hitting the mushroom. Right, he gets the mushroom and goes, I can't even make the noise, bloop, 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 whatever that is, and he gets big. I know he's not leveling up, he's just getting bigger, but that's what I think of every time somebody says level up. Well, there you go.
I'm visualizing it. See, so this is working already.
All right.
Brilliant.
Love it. Okay. Well, you're going to tell us why leveling up is part of today's podcast as you explain it. So I'm ready. I'm ready to take this all in.
So first visual, let's think of a pyramid.
Okay.
That should be pretty easy for listeners to just think of what a pyramid looks like, and maybe it gets taller, moving up, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going to think about different professions. So let's say we'll go back to baseball, for example. So maybe you have minor league baseball, and then you have another level of baseball. And as you go up that type of pyramid, or it could be the workforce in general, there's careers that get advanced, let's say, and they move upward. So to speak. And so let's tie that to my industry, financial planning, investing, all that good stuff. I would say that there's essentially 4 different types of practices or office types in this industry. So if you bear with me here, this is getting a little deep, but we'll get there and we'll circle this all together. So there's maybe a money manager at the entry level. And then maybe the next one up is investment planning, and then maybe financial planning. And then at the top of this pyramid is like a wealth manager, or we could even say a coach, essentially, a finance coach.
Okay.
So here's the spoiler alert. What do you think I am?
Well, I've always thought of you as a coach, but I know you're a wealth manager as well. So,
yeah. So now I laugh because I think it was 2 episodes ago, at the start of this calendar year, we rolled out this concept of, hey, our office is going to provide value. We're going to add another value add. And so we rolled out this thing where we're going to ask people a really tough question. What's important today? What's on your mind? Doesn't have to be money. Just what is it? And I thought that was going to drag us through the whole calendar year. And then we'd come up with a new value add the next year. So that lasted exactly 3 weeks. And now I've got another value add.
Okay.
It's kind of like the infomercial, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, that's right.
So
you're making me think of Ron Popeil. Sorry. Go ahead.
Once again, I come into these shows, I'm all jazzed up, my hands are waving. You can't, the listeners out there can't see me, but I'm all in this. So now let's think about that pyramid as a stack of value-added things.
Okay.
Okay, so now, and this pyramid sort of ties into those 4 different practices I just talked about. So, okay, the biggest, broadest base. So on this pyramid, we're going the bottom level, really wide and broad. We'll call that managing the money for a client. And man, I can talk all day about, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Does it mean allocation of your investments and assets? Yes. Does it mean picking this stock or that fund? Certainly. Does it pick investment strategist companies such as a Goldman Sachs or a JP Morgan, places that I team up with for research, essentially? Mm-hmm. Yes. How do we manage taxes and debts and cash flow and refinancing your house and generating income? And we can go all day, right? That's where a lot of professionals draw the line in this industry. They're just looking to help a client wade into the pool, essentially, but not go very deep.
Okay.
So I'm almost calling that, I don't want to call that entry level and have people think, that's like having a minimum wage job. No. I mean, what I'm talking about is, if we're talking about careers, leveling up, moving on to the next level to improve themselves, let's say that in this industry too. So if we go to the next level, what does that mean? That's a conversation about goals, setting goals. We've covered that before too.
Got it. Yeah. So, I mean, but that makes a very wide foundation for your pyramid, right? The managing the money aspect, because there's a lot of things that are kind of included in that. And then, like you said, that next level of the pyramid would be achieving goals, talking about goals. That's a whole different conversation. And I could see how you would say that would be next level, because anybody can, well, not anybody, a lot of people can help you manage money or help you figure out a budget. But if you don't share with them what you want to accomplish, how are they going to do that effectively in a way that's going to get you to that next level?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
Well, perfect. The visualizing is working. It's working. Okay. So if we go to achieving goals, or, first you got to set goals before you can achieve them. But so this is kind of the next level up. We're talking about, does that financial person you're working with, do they land into this next level of the pyramid? So we're working on the investment planning aspect now, essentially layering it on top of that first step we talked about. So now we try and identify those goals: college, buy a new car, second house, charity, whatever. Whatever the goal is, there's a way to get there. So we'll just stop that. We'll stop that conversation because I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Now
we're getting to the interesting stuff, and it's getting deeper in the pool. If we go one more level, okay, so this is what I call maybe that financial planner category of, we're going to tie that to peace of mind. So what is peace of mind? Could that be taking care of your loved ones, or taking care of your parents, maybe, or the older generation? Does it mean getting organized? Does it mean not having to worry about things that you've maybe worried about? So I'd also say, what we're talking about here is not necessarily exactly how are my investments doing. This is kind of bigger picture, more satisfying type stuff. How do I have more time in a day to enjoy what I want to enjoy? That's peace of mind stuff.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So you've got the level before this was achieving goals, right? And that means obviously setting goals, like you said, working toward them, so on and so forth. Retirement is in that mix, like you said, college planning or charity, all that. So I'm assuming that those goals don't have to be done, right? You don't have to wait till your retirement, if that's one of your goals, to have peace of mind. I kind of picture this as peace of mind comes when you know that you're on track for the goals. And stop me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. But I see it as you've got these goals set, and you clearly can see that I'm on my way to accomplish all the goals I have on this piece of paper, within this pyramid, however you want to put it. And so is that what leads to peace of mind? Knowing that you can use your time the way you want to, or you can take care of your loved ones because you're going to be financially secure?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, and I'm glad you brought that up, because everything we're talking about, I'm saying let's level up, let's improve, let's get to the next spot. Everything below that is still an ongoing project.
Okay. Yep.
So absolutely right. Whether we're going to be managing the money throughout the entire process. We're going to be monitoring and tracking progress toward those goals. Ongoing process. We're going to add new goals. But yes, peace of mind is built into the success of this project. And by success, again, we're not talking about dollar signs. Mm-hmm. We're talking about moving forward, advancing things, and enjoying the ride. And I know this is probably a statement I've used multiple podcasts before, but we're looking for progress, not perfection. So we're always looking to do things that matter today for what we're trying to accomplish. And here's a great way to look at this. Tangent number 1 for Corey today, right? So this is going to be a good visualizing exercise. So bear with me if I use a lot of description here, but if you visualize 3 folding chairs sitting in front of you, mm-hmm. Let's say the one on the left, if you were sitting in that chair, you've got everything nailed down perfect. Your investments are perfect. Your life is perfect. You got peace of mind. You got it all. Everything is working.
I like that chair.
That's the chair everybody wants to be in, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now let's look at the middle chair. The middle chair is, I'm doing a pretty good job, but I know there's some things that are still lacking. And, I know it'd be a lot of work to move over to that chair to the left. People fall into that camp or into that chair. Mm-hmm. Let's say the chair on the right is essentially almost a complete disaster. Maybe you're participating in your 401k at work, but maybe you tap into it early every now and then. Mm-hmm. You've got a mess and you need to improve, but you're scared of it. You know it's a lot of work. So for me to sit here and look that person in the eye and say, well, darn it, I'm going to pound the table and you're going to get your stuff together and move over to one chair. It's not that easy. It's a big step. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to encourage you or the listener, let's add 2 more chairs. Let's add another chair way to the right end, one way to the left. So now we got 5 chairs instead of 3. By definition, the middle chair is, still the middle chair, right? Mm-hmm. And the worst chair is way to the right and it's a disaster. And the best chair is perfect. It's way to the left in the 5th chair. Now, no matter where you're sitting, Mr. or Mrs. Client or prospect, let's try to move 1 chair. So in theory, what I'm talking about is let's make a smaller step that isn't so overwhelming, mm-hmm. and yet we're making progress. So we're not demanding perfection overnight. We're taking small steps to improve in the right direction. And that's sort of what I'm talking about on this whole pyramid of finance and goals and peace of mind. I know it's overwhelming, but little steps create results.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you're sitting in one of your chairs, sometimes you're comfortable, right? I mean, yeah. Even though that chair that is, a disaster, it's the chair you're used to, right? I mean, it's the chair that's where you've been sitting. And so you're just kind of used to sitting in that chair. And it's hard to think of getting to the next chair.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I get it. Life is about routines. Life is also about habits, I guess I'd say, no matter what those are. And it takes someone to kind of hold your hand essentially and help you make that change or to make progress or to kick you in the tail. And I joke with people hey, go look at my website. What's the biggest thing you read right there when you go to the website? It says, we coach investors to win. It's straightforward. It's not like everybody else's financial planner website where you see the exact same stuff and you think, oh, this is boring. Mm-hmm. You want to team up with somebody that can maybe improve your situation. And it may not be me. It may not be me. There's lots of good advisors out there that are not named Corey Heimensen. So you got to seek out somebody that you like and feel good about and trust. And by all means, the stuff's going to get better for you.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And I'm loving the chair analogy because I'm a chair guy. Okay. My dad was a chair guy. He had his chair, right? Dad had his chair. You don't sit in his chair. But when it comes time to replace that chair, there's always that question of, is the next one going to be as comfortable? Am I going to be able to sit in? Am I going to be able to relax? Right? Am I going to be able to kind of let the stresses of the day go away? And I think that when you help somebody to that next level, that then they realize this wasn't as hard of a move as I thought it was. And it is more peaceful over in this chair. It is more relaxing here.
Absolutely. And as you say that, I'm just thinking of people as they have birthdays, as we all age, we get used to or accustomed to or need a different type of chair. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't matter if it's where you sit in a church mm-hmm. or in bleachers at a ball game, or the type of car you drive. Eventually, maybe it's a lift chair to help you stand up easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be open-minded to new comfort zones, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you get better and better chairs, then there's massage chairs, and you can live a little bit more on the high side of things. That's just me. But.
Well, we can even tie that to the speed of the internet in your home. Mm-hmm. And where I'm going with this is, once you get used to something, you don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a nice chair and then go sit in a bad chair. You don't want fast internet and then go to slower internet. You don't want a good smartphone and then go back to a flip phone that maybe had better reception, but it doesn't have internet. Yeah. So by all means, if we like moving forward on things like that, mm-hmm. why wouldn't we want to move forward on things like this that I'm talking about?
Okay, so let's get back to the pyramid. So you've spoken about peace of mind, and you gave some really, really good examples. Is there another level, or is this the pinnacle?
There is one level above peace of mind, and This is, you bet, this is the top of that pyramid, and so this is where the true wealth manager type advisors play, so to speak. And so this top level is called fulfillment. Okay, so what's fulfillment? Fulfillment is, quite simply accomplishing your purpose in life. Or it's leaving a legacy. What's your legacy? Do you want to be known as somebody who hoarded every nickel you had and weren't going to give it to your kids or charity until you were long gone? Or are you going to control things from the grave and open a trust that says the kids or grandkids or whomever can't sell the farmland for 100 years? If that's your legacy, go for it. Let's do it. Let's put it in place. If your legacy is something else, let's do it. Let's go for that. Let's get it done. It's identifying it and having that conversation and communicating it, because a heck of a lot of people, they don't want to talk about that stuff, or they don't think about it, or they just assume that death is not knocking on their door. But you know what? It does.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, as we record this today, I just had a good client. I just found out this morning that passed away.
Oh, so sorry.
And so, yeah, that was a shocking thing. His family knows it's a shock, but we'll get through it because we had all of these levels of the pyramid talked about and communicated and dialed in. So even if a person checks out maybe earlier than they were expecting, the legacy, the accomplishment can be looked at now or a month from now and be visualized and realized by his family.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I just kind of think of, the peace of mind level of this pyramid as at the point where you are done for the day, right? And you put your head on your pillow. You know that you have a lot to look forward to, and you don't have to worry about that broken old chair that you used to sit in a long time ago. You're comfortable, and you just kind of drift off knowing that your family's taken care of, the things that you wanted to do, you've gotten done. And now you're just not looking to the end, but now you're looking forward to what that fulfillment looks like, what that final chapter is going to be. And to me, it just kind of spells out freedom.
Absolutely. And this even goes back to, in my book, when we talked about people regret the things they didn't do more than the things that they did do. And that is so accurate. Like you say, you lay your head down at night, you want to feel good about what was accomplished and what may or may not come up tomorrow. And if you're working with a financial professional that's not asking these types of questions or pointing you upward to level up to a new level or to at least think about it, maybe you're not at the right place. Mm-hmm. Again, I am not here to try and say everybody in the country is horrible except Corey. I'm just trying to make people think about it, because I know what the right answer is.
Well, the listener, any of us as consumers, we have choices. And I think that that's what gets me a lot with my kids is that I have to let them know you have a choice. It's I'm going to take my car and get the oil changed. I've got to go to this place because that's the pattern. That's where you've always gone. That's where you saw me go. You don't have to go where I've gone. You don't have to go to, I'm not going to say the name of it, but the certain place that I always go to get my oil changed. I have a relationship with a guy that works there. He owns the establishment. I like him. I like doing business with him. That's where I go. And guess what? Even though he does give me a slight discount, it's more expensive than taking it to, a little corner shop down the road that's just going to quickly change the oil and the filter and you're done. But I'm okay with, paying $5 or $6 extra every time I have my oil change. Doesn't bother me because I have that opportunity to support somebody I like and I respect. But my kids don't have to go there, right? They have choices. And I think that's, exactly what you're saying, right? It's not that you're the only one, but they need to know, you need to ask the questions. What services are you providing? Are you doing these things? Are you helping me to achieve goals? They need to be thinking of those things when they're speaking with their advisor. I think I've shared with you, Corey, my first advisor was terrible. He had a bunch of my money in an IRA and it sat there and I'd get a call once a year. How you doing? Doing great. How are you, buddy? Doing fine. Okay. Talk to you next year. No planning, no conversations about families, kids, dreams, goals, nothing. It was, well, we're up this year or it's kind of flat this year. That's it. Okay.
It's funny. I have two topics to go into now that you just said that. I hear from clients, well, they're actually new clients now, but sometimes they're prospects, but they come to me and they say, my old advisor, the only time I used to hear from him was when he or she would call me on my birthday. Do you think I want to talk to that person one time a year, especially on my birthday?
Exactly.
That totally makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, probably not. But the second part of that is I go to industry, continuing education meetings, all these things, and the people on stage, in front of a room of a couple thousand financial advisors or professionals, the speaker will say, boy, you got to get out there and you got to really drill your clients to get to know their kids and grandkids. And I think to myself, that's what a salesperson would do. I am not going to just try to be nice to their next generation because I'm trying to get more business, keep that business on the books. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk about this whole pyramid thing. I'm going to bend over backwards and give 100% every darn day for my client. You know what? And if they pass away before me, we'll see what happens with the next generation. I'm not going to do things just to try and get more business from their family. That's not the right way to treat people. You know what?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, if you're providing the high level of service and they see how well you've taken care of their parents, it's kind of going to be only natural to know that, okay, they took care of my parents and everything went well. I'd like those same results, not guaranteeing anything, of course, on this podcast, but that's what I want is I want that level of service with that much involvement, I guess is what I'm really looking for, because I know how involved you are with your clients. And you're going to make sure that they're at that level, the peace of mind level, if not yet at that fulfillment level.
Exactly. If you're dealing with a professional, no matter what the industry, if they're giving their all and doing the right thing for you, it's because they care about you. Mm-hmm. And you're right. If there's value delivered there, sure, it's probably going to trickle down the family tree, and great if it does. But it comes back to being a fiduciary, being that wealth manager, being that life coach that is more about the bigger picture of the success and not just how's my account doing today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. What else can we do for this podcast today? We've got this pyramid. I'm envisioning it. I'm on the same page. I like it.
I think the key thing is that investors out there or people that want to improve their situation have to realize that success in life really comes down to fulfillment. And it's bigger than everything you probably think it is today. Mm-hmm. And so what does that mean? I think a lot of people focus on the minute little things, and they don't think bigger picture of how important that's going to be when you're a grandparent or a great grandparent and you just see the smile on that grandchild's face. There's so much more value to that or to the experiences you've had in your life versus numbers on an account statement.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Well, I know that, we have listeners right now that are trying to figure out what chair they're in or maybe what level they're at on this pyramid. And I know that you're open to the conversation. So how do they get a hold of you if they want to say, hey, I need you to take a look at where I'm sitting and tell me how to get to that next chair or next level?
Yeah, give us a call, 800-657-4316. I'd also encourage you to just check out our website too and just see that statement of how we coach investors to win, because there's a lot of content there that'll help you down that path too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's free content. We like that. There
you go.
All right. Corey, thanks, man. This is fun. I was able to use my imagination today, and I was able to envision this stuff. I think that was a great picture that you painted.
Hey, appreciate it. Glad to be here today.
You bet. And our last thank you, of course, is to you, the listening audience. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the Win Podcast with Corey Heimensen. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when Corey comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. And we humbly ask that you share this podcast, rate it, and leave a review, as this actually does help others find the show. Again, thank you so much for listening today. For everyone at Heimensen Wealth Advisors, this is Eric Johnson reminding you to live your best day every day. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Win Podcast. What's important now? The show that helps you achieve your financial dreams. To ask questions about topics covered during the show or get a copy of Stop Doing Dumb Things with Your Money by Corey Heimensen, visit www.heimensenwealth.com or give us a call at 712-472-3867. Don't forget to click the follow button below to be notified when new episodes become available. Securities offered through Securities America Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Securities America Advisors Inc. Heimensen Wealth Advisors and Securities America are separate entities.